lang natin ay nomenclature and naming. Okay. Okay. So this time, let's talk about alcohols only. Although sa PowerPoint natin, may ethers and thiols. Hindi na natin isasama yon. Okay. So let's just focus on alcohols. So, okay. So when you say alcohols, these are, of course, alam nyo to, mga substances na ginagamit natin to disinfect wounds, no? Or to clean surfaces, especially during the pandemic period. Okay? So, ano ba meron sa mga alcohols, no? Okay, so ang meron sa alcohol ay still hydrocarbon chain. So, may hydrocarbon chain ka pa rin. Pero meron kang substituent na OH, no? So may additional substituent ka na OH. So every time may OH ang molecule mo, so that is an alcohol, no? Okay? And maraming alcohols, no, na pwedeng magawa sa OrgChem, no? So basically gagawin mo lang yung iyong hydrocarbon chain, palitan mo yung hydrogen do ng OH, may alcohol ka na, no? So one example is the methanol. So that is derived from the methane, CH4. So kapag yung methane, ginawa mo siyang alcohol, so CH4OH, yun yung simplest organic molecule na alcohol version. So, yun. So basically, pwede ka makagawa ng kahit anong ano, yung mga alkanes niya, mga hydrocarbons niya, pwede nyo sila gawing alcohol. No? Okay, so ano yung mga common examples ng alcohol natin? Itong methanol, this is wood alcohol. And ito yung molecule that caused several deaths last year. 2018, 2019. So, alam ko dun yung mga balita ng methanol poisoning, di ba? So, saan nanggaling yun? Sa mga lambanog na mali ang preparation. No? Yung lambanog kasi, that is being fermented to produce alcohols. No? Yung mga alak na lambanog. Ang problema lang doon is kapag mali ka ng process, mali ka ng procedure sa pag-imbak or sa amount ng substances mo. So kapag mali yung iyong process, may mga other products na pwede lumabas, and one of which is the methanol. No? And methanol is very dangerous. No? It can destroy your body functions, kaya pwede ka mamatay. No? Pero if hindi naman ganun karami yung dosage niya, marami pang side effects yun. Kunwari, matalsikan ka lang ng katiting na methanol sa ice, pwede ka mabulag, no? So, ganun katindi yung methanol na yan. No? Pero, ang gusto natin, kapag tayo ay nag-ferment, gagawa tayong alak, ang gusto natin ay yung ethanol. No? So, yung ethanol, ito yung mga nasa beer, ito rin yung mga nasa vodka, spirits, no? So, yan. Yan yung desirable product ng fermentation, not the methanol. Okay? So, ano pa? Another version of alcohol is yung ginagamit natin sa bahay, pan-disinfect, no? Yung isopropyl alcohol, no? So, that is a propane molecule with OH substituent. Okay? So, yun lang. Ngayon, paano tayo nag-name ng alcohols? No? So, the nomenclature for alcohols is very similar to any other alkanes or any other hydrocarbons na na-discuss natin. No? Okay, so katulad ng alkenes and alkynes, no, ang rule dito sa alcohols ay similar lang. Okay, so gagawin nyo, you will check kung ano yung longest carbon chain that includes the hanapin nyo yung longest carbon chain that includes the OH, di ba? Kapag alkenes yan and alkynes, ginagawa nyo, naghahanap kayo ng long chain na nandun yung double bond o kaya triple bond. No? So for alcohols, ganun din. You check kung ano yung longest chain in which your OH is included. No? So yung OH natin, it will serve as a substituent. Substituent yan. No? Pero kailangan kasama yan sa long chain. Okay? And then, when when you were able to determine kung sino na yung parent chain natin, that includes the OH functional group, we will assign locants, di ba? Locants are the numbers for each carbon atoms there. So, gagawin nyo, You will assign the locant, the lowest locant, yung 1, dun sa carbon that is nearest to the hydroxyl functional group, no? So, kung nasan yung OH, dun ka maglalagay ng 1, malapit doon. Okay? Then, what's next, no? So, ang naming ng alcohols is similar lang din talaga with hydrocarbons. May onting modification lang tayo. Okay? So, gagawin mo, kapag isang OH lang ang substituent mo, you will change the E, yung 'di ba, propane, butane, yung isa dulo, you will replace that with all, no? So all. So ibig sabihin nun, alcohol, no? So yan. So ganun lang, and then you have to assign to which carbon your OH is attached to, and then if you have any other substituent, do the usual steps lang. Okay? So, yun lang yung mga na bago sa atin. Ano lang yung nadagdag? Yung, pag-check ng longest chain, it must include the OH, functional group, no? And then, yung E, sa mga butane, propane, etc., papalitan mo yon ng all. Okay? So, you will have propanol, methanol, ethanol, etc. Okay? So, ganun lang gagawin nyo. Then, you assign the locants for your OH and other substituents, no? So, yun lang. So, let's look at some examples before we proceed with our worksheet, no? So, after nun, tapos na yung lesson natin. Okay? So, eto, we have some few examples here. For example, ethanol. So, paano nangyari yung name na yan? You check, no? Kung ilang carbon atoms meron dyan. So, this is the molecule. Mapapansin nyo, this OH is attached to this carbon group. No? So, ito na yung parent group natin. No? Okay? Tapos, ano pa alam natin dito? That may dalawang carbon dito. Isa, dalawa. Okay? So, may dalawang carbon dyan. So, ano tawag doon? F, diba? Ethane, diba? Pero, instead of E ang dulo, since may OH tayo, we will use ethanol instead of ethane lang, no? Okay? So, ganun lang. One example would be your phenol last time, no? About yung aromatic compound natin. 'Di ba phenol 'yan? Bakit naging phenol 'yan? Yung phen sa phenol that pertains to the phenyl group, no? The phenyl ring or the benzene ring. All, ibig sabihin nun, alcohol, may OH. So, phenol. Benzene ring na may OH. No? So, phenol, ethanol, and then next one, you have 1-propanol. If your carbon number is greater than 3, no, grade 3 pataas yung carbon number mo sa parent chain mo, you have to indicate kung anong carbon nandoon yung OH. No? So, kailangan sabihin mo, nasaan yung OH sa carbon chain mo. If the carbon chain is 3 or more carbons in, in total. So, yan. Sabihin mo asan yung OH. Kasi bakit? We can have isomers here as well. So again, what are isomers? Constitutional isomers in particular. Tawag na, ayun ay mga structures that has the same number of atoms. However, their connectivities are different. No? Okay, so ganun. Kapag 3 pataas yung carbon, sabihin kung nasaan yung OH. Okay, para hindi malito. So, ito yung dalawang example natin. So, this is our propane chain. Okay? So, 3 carbons yan. And we assign the locant 1 to the carbon nearest to your OH. No? So, ito yung 1, 2, 3. On the first carbon, andun yung OH. So, that is 1-propanol. Okay? So, again, yung E papalitan ng all. 1-propanol. Okay, the common name is propyl alcohol. Ito naman, if your OH is not attached to the first carbon, narin nasa second carbon siya, ang tawag dyan ay 2-propanol. Okay? Or it has the common name isopropyl alcohol, which is found in your alcohol sprays. Na, mga ganito yung spray sa bahay. Okay? So, yan. So, yun na. Kailangan kapag 3 or more carbons, you have to indicate where is the OH, no? Kung asan yung OH banda. Bakit kaya kapag 2 or 1 carbon, hindi na kailangan? Kasi, ganito. If you place your OH here, ang locant niyan ay 1. Okay? Pag nandiyan sa right side, ilagay mo yung OH sa left side, ano locant niya? 1 pa rin. Okay? So, same lang regardless. So, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay yung number or yung locant kapag 2 or 1 carbon lang ang iyong alcohol na. 3 and above, dun na kailangan. Okay? So, just like these two examples here. And then, marami pa tayong example dito. So, let's have this one. This is butanol, 1-butanol. So, paano siya naging 1-butanol? Kasi may 4 na carbon chain tayo dito. No? So, ito yung 1, 2, 3, 4. So, those are your 4 carbon atoms chained together. And on the first carbon, you have your OH. So, 1-butanol. Okay? Or butyl alcohol kapag common name. If you move your OH to the second carbon, you will have 2-butanol. The common name is sec-butyl alcohol. This time, medyo hindi na obvious yung shortcuts natin. Kasi 'di ba kapag isopropyl, antena, pag sec, ano yun, clo, kapag tert-butyl, paan ng manok. Yung tert-butyl until now, pwede pa rin natin magamit. Pero yung isopropyl and yung sec-butyl, medyo hindi na siya ganun ka-obvious unless makikita mo talaga, no? So, for example, ito pa rin yung antena, no? Although hindi siya ganun ka-obvious. Tapos itong sec-butyl, yung sec-butyl, di ba, sabi natin clo yun. Ito, kapag yung CH3 na to, nilipat mo yun sa baba, mukha pa rin siyang clo. Although not so obvious na, no? Okay. So, yan. Ito naman, isobutyl, ito hindi talaga to obvious, no? Kung ano nangyari. Okay. So, this is your isobutyl alcohol or may IUPAC name siyang 2-methyl-1-propanol. Paano nangyari yon? So, hanapin natin yung longest chain including the OH here, no? So, ito yung longest chain that includes the OH group, no? Then, mag-assign tayo ng numbers, no? So, we start counting to the carbon nearest to your OH, no? Ito na yung mismong carbon 1, no? On the second carbon, you have your methyl. So, pangalan yan, 2-methyl. Okay? Tapos, sa first carbon, andun yung OH sa 3-carbon chain natin. So, 1-propanol yan. Okay? So, 2-methyl, 1-propanol ang ating molecule. Okay? Or may common name yan na isobutyl alcohol. However, kahit hindi na natin kabisuduhin yung common names. Okay na yan. Basta alam natin yung IUPAC name, pwede na yan. Ito naman, this is the tert-butyl alcohol. Obvious naman, yung tatlong branch niya. No? So, ano yung IUPAC name na ito? Let's check kung ano yung parent chain that includes the OH. No? So, hindi man obvious, pero ito yon. Okay? So, itong part ng molecule na to, ito yung ating parent chain that includes the OH. No? So, 1, 2, 3. So, we have 3 carbons. So, that is propane. No? On the second carbon, you have your OH. So, you have your 2-propanol there. Yan yung parent molecule mo. However, also on the second carbon, you have a methyl group. Okay? So, 2-methyl, 2-propanol ang kanyang name. And then, lastly, marami pa tayong examples. Don't worry. Okay. And then lastly, we have this one. Ano sabi kanina sa ring? Kapag naka-ring yan, if isa lang ang substituent mo, wag mo na ibigyan ng locant kasi isa lang yan eh. Anywhere sa ring, kahit saan mo ilagay yung OH mo, 1 pa rin yung locant niya. Okay? So, ganun. So, for this example, we have cyclohexanol. Okay? So, that is cyclohexane with an OH substituent. Na? So, gagawin mo sa E, gagawin mong all. Ito naman question. What if I have 2 or more substituents? Okay, ayan. Ano kaya magiging pangalan niya? So, the name of this molecule will be ganito. So, you assign locants na kasi 2 na yung substituents mo eh, no? 2 or more na. So, kailangan mo gawin, you assign a locant So, sino bibigyan mo ng number 1? Yung carbon atom that is connected to the OH. No? So, priority natin yung OH talaga. So, 1, then you continue counting. No? So, 2. Okay. So, ito, on the second carbon, you have a methyl group. So, this will be 2-methyl. And then, do I have to write 1 cyclohexanol? Pwede naman. Pero kahit hindi na ilagay yung 1, pwede na yung cyclohexanol na lang. Kasi, the fact na may word na cyclohexanol, ibig sabihin nun, merong OH talaga. And your, cyclohexanol, yung OH doon, yun talaga yung carbon number 1. So, kahit hindi nyo na po ilagay yung 2-methyl, 1-cyclohexanol, kahit wala na yung 1 doon sa cyclohexanol, okay lang. Understood na kapag may sinabing cyclohexanol, may OH na at siya yung number 1. Okay? So, ganun lang yung rule ng nomenclature, no? That's similar with hydrocarbons, no? And parang sa benzene din, di ba? Mapapansin nyo sa benzene, kapag may common name, no? May special substituent, hindi na sinasabi kung nasan siya. Kasi automatically, alam natin na siya yung umpisa ng counting. Okay? So, ganun. So, let's try to do some exercises, no? Before we proceed with our worksheets, no? Marami sa worksheets, eh. So, let's write the IUPAC name for the following alcohols, no? Yan. So, we have this molecule here. Ano kaya pangalan niya? First rule, you identify the longest chain that contains the OH as your substituent, no? So, ano yung chain na yon? Ito. So, that is the longest chain na kasama yung OH substituent. Bilangin mo kung ilang carbon yan. So, saan tayo magka-count? Start tayo to the carbon that is nearest to the OH, no? Always doon banda sa may OH. So, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So, on the second carbon, andun yung OH. So, anong pangalan yan? 2-pentanol. Okay? So, our parent name or our parent chain that includes the OH functional group is called 2-pentanol. Okay? Ngayon, may isa pa tayong substituent. So, siya si 4-methyl. Okay? Because the methyl group is attached to the fourth carbon. So, 4-methyl 2-pentanol ang kanyang complete name. Okay? So, ganun lang. Same rule as hydrocarbons pa rin. Okay? So, punta muna tayo sa C. You identify the longest chain with the OH as your substituent. So, basically, yung entire molecule na yan. Okay? Yung buong molecule na yan, yun na yung ating parent chain. So, what's left with us is to assign the locant for your OH. No? So, sabi natin, we will assign number 1 to the carbon that is nearest to your OH. No? Okay, dulo sa dulo kasi yung pag-assign ng numbers. Okay? So, on the second carbon, andun yung OH mo, your hydroxyl functional group. So, this will be named 2-heptanol. Okay, so ang pangalan niya ay 2-heptanol. On the second carbon, andun yung OH, then 7 carbon yung chain natin. So, hept ang prefix na. Plus the suffix ol to indicate that this is an alcohol. Okay, so ang name niya, 2-heptanol. Proceed tayo dito. Nakikita nyo yung thick na bond, pati yung dashed na bond. No? So, tawag natin doon ay solid and dashed wedges. No? So, when we say solid wedges, solid wedge, ito yung thick na line. That means that na yung substituent na yan, that substituent is pointing towards you. So, nakatutok yan sa iyo. Diba? So, nakikita nyo yung screen nyo. Yung OH, naka-front yan sa inyong eyes. Okay? Sa mukha nyo yung nakaharap. Okay? Kapag may nakita kayong dashed wedge, ito yon dashed, no? That means that substituent is pointing away from you. So, that means it is pointing behind your screens, no? So, kung may papel ka, so, ang solid, yun yung nakatapat sa face mo. Yung dashed, yun yung nasa likod ng paper. Okay? So, ganun dito. Ano naman ngayon? Ganito kasi. For cycloalkanes, meron tayong isomerisms dito. No? Cis and trans isomerism. Just like alkenes. No? So, paano yung cis-trans isomerism for cycloalkanes? No? Or let's say cyclic alcohols. Just like letter B. So, ganito. Kapag yan ay parehas na solid or parehas yan na dashed, yan ay cis, no? So, for example, example lang. Yan, kapag parehas yan nakaganyan, yan ay cis, no? Kapag yan ay parehas nakadashed, yan ay cis pa rin. However, if yan ay combination ng dalawa, may solid, may dashed, yan ay trans na, no? Okay? So, kapag cis, that's Latin for same side, no? So, naka-point yan sa'yo. Kapag trans, that's Latin for the opposite sides, no? Kaya nga transport, di ba? Ano meron sa transport? Two-way. May pupunta sa northbound, may pupunta sa southbound, no? So, may opposite directions. Transit, LRT, transit. Ayan, two directions din. Eastbound, westbound, no? So, ganun. So, may two opposite directions. Kapag cis, ibig sabihin, iisa yung orientation nila in space. No? So, that means, for this example here sa letter B, we have a solid wedge and a dashed wedge. So, ano yon? Trans yon. Okay? So, the molecule is trans in terms of isomerism. Pero mamaya na natin isama yon sa name niya. Okay? So, pangalanan muna natin siya as is. No? So, sabi natin, pag may OH sa ring, siya yung number 1. Then, yung susunod na substituent, ikaw na bahala mag-assign ng number. Okay? So, yan. So, meron tayong methyl. Okay? Sa carbon number 2. So, that will be 2-methyl. Then, kailangan ko pa ba i-indicate na nasa 1 yung OH? Kahit hindi na. Okay? Kasi ang ating parent name ay yung cyclohexanol. Okay? So, kahit wag mo na isulat yung 1-cyclohexanol. Kasi automatically, kapag sinabing hexanol, yung OH, yung basis ng counting. No? So, dun talaga yung 1. Okay? Then, since meron tayong isomerism, so we have to include that also sa name. Kasi malay mo, parehas pala cis yung pinapatukuyan, parehas pala trans, no? So, yun. Kailangan natin i-include, no? Kung anong type ng isomer yan. So, sabi natin, this is a trans isomer. Okay? So, trans yan. So, ang cis and trans, nilalagay in front of the name, followed by a dash. Okay? So, that's trans 2-methyl cyclohexanol. Then, last example here. Hanapin ang long chain that includes the OH functional group. So, ito yan. So, that is the longest chain that includes the OH. No? Ilang carbon yan? Bilangin natin. Start ka malapit sa OH. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So, yan. So, ano yan? 1 propanol. So, ang name ng ating parent chain ay 1-propanol. On the first carbon of your propane, andon yung OH. Again, sabi ko, kapag 3 or more carbons ang iyong parent chain, you have to indicate kung ano yung carbon number ng OH. No? So, ayan, 1-propanol. Ngayon, let's check yung carbon number 2. Ano ganap niya doon? You have two methyl groups here. May dalawa kang methyl group. So, ano yung complete name niya? 2,2-dimethyl 1-propanol. Ang complete name ng molecule natin. Okay? Because on the second carbon, you have two methyl groups. So, 2,2-dimethyl 1-propanol. So, yan yung ating ilang examples lang for nomenclature. Mamaya, marami tayong gagawin. Okay. Ito yung sagot. So, 4-methyl 2-pentanol, okay. 2-heptanol, okay. Trans-2-methyl cyclohexanol, okay siya. 2,2-dimethyl 1-propanol, okay din. So, ganun lang. Basta yung rules dito, same lang as your hydrocarbons. Discuss naman sa lab yung hydrocarbons nomenclature. No? So, okay na yan. Punta ba tayo sa isa pang extension? Okay? So, ang ating hydroxyl sa alcohols, they can vary. No? Pwede dumami yan. Pwedeng isa lang yung OH, pwedeng dalawa, pwedeng tatlo, pwedeng 10. No? So, yun. So, alcohol pa rin naman sila. Though, since multiple ang OHs nila, we have to indicate kung ilang OH ang meron. Okay? So, paano natin i-indicate yung dami ng OH? Okay? By using Greek prefixes. Kunwari, dalawa yung OH, diol, no? Hindi siya all, no? Kunwari, propan all. Hindi ganon. Okay? Kasi sabi mo, dalawa po yung OH, di dalawang all. Hindi. So, you will use Greek prefix pag ganon. Okay? So, diol, ibig sabihin, dalawa yung OH sa molecule. Triol, ibig sabihin, tatlo yung OH sa molecule. Tetrol, 4 yung OH sa molecule. And so on and so forth. Okay? Tapos, ito yung modification. Since 2 or more na ang iyong hydroxyl groups, yung E, di ba kanina dinadrop natin yung E. Di ba? From propane to propanol. Ngayon, kapag 2 or more na yung OHs mo, hindi mo na kailangan tanggalin yung E. Okay? So, for example, yung propane mo may dalawang OH. So, hindi na siya hindi na siya propan diol. Hindi na siya, kailangan ilagay mo pa rin yung E kasi hindi mo na siya kailangan i-drop eh. So, kailangan kapag yung propane mo may dalawang OH, tawag doon ay propane diol. You will no longer need to remove the E, no? Huwag mo na tanggalin. So, ganun lang. And saan ito nakikita? Usually, ito ay nakikita in food industry. Minsan, nasa sasakyan to. And minsan, nasa bomba ulit, no? So, tawag natin sa kanila in general ay glycols, no? So, glycols can be used as food thickener, no? Mga pampakapal ng liquids. Yan. Tingin kayo sa likod ng ingredients. Alam ko may biscuit na may glycol na ingredient. Basahin nyo na lang yung likod. Kasi hindi ko alam kasi di na ako kumakain ng biscuit lately. Okay? So, yun. Pero dati alam ko may glycol yun sa likod. Basahin nyo na lang. Okay? Saan pa ginagamit yung glycols other than the food, no? Ingredients sa food, ginagamit din siya sa vehicles, no? So, yung car ninyo, yung car ng parents or basta yung car na lang, pag binuksan nyo yung harap nun, may radiator sa front, di ba? Okay? So, yung radiator na yon minsan laman nun tubig. Pero, hindi dapat tubig yung laman nun. Okay? So, may certain chemical talaga na nilalagay doon, no? Glycols yung isang example nun. Okay? So, ano yung purpose ng glycol? That will serve as means para matransfer yung heat ng engine papunta sa radiator to lower the temperature of the car engine para hindi siya mag-overheat. So, ano yan? Thermodynamics lang, no? So, yung liquid doon, iikot yung papunta sa engine. Okay? Tapos, yung heat ng engine mapupunta doon sa liquid, then pupunta yan sa radiator uli para ma-release. No? So, yan. Mga typical, thermo stuff. Okay? Pag may friend kayong mech, alam nila yon na heat flow. So, ganun lang. So, ito yung ilang examples ng naming ng molecules that contains two or more hydroxyl groups na. So, let's have this one. So, this molecule here, ito, CH2, CH2, tapos may isang OH sila. Pangalan niya ay 1,2-ethane diol. Okay? So, we have two carbons here. So, obviously, ethane yan. On the first and on the second carbon, you have two OHs, no? So, diol yon. Okay? So, ethane diol ang name. Tanong, asan yung diol? Asan yung dalawang OH na sa carbon 1 and 2? So, lalagay natin yung name as 1,2-ethane diol. Again, you do not need anymore to remove the E. Hindi mo na siya kailangan burahin. Okay? So, dugtong mo lang yung diol, triol, etc. Ito pa isang example. So, we have 1,2-propane diol. That means you have a propane on the first and on the second carbon. Okay? On the first and on the second carbon, you have diols. No? May dalawang OHs. Again, observe that E is no longer dropped off. No? It's no longer emitted. No? Omitted. Ayun. So, alam niyo na may nagtitinda dito sa paligid. Okay. So, ito. Last one. Last example here. So, we have a propane pa rin. Pero tatlo yung OHs on the first and on the second and on the third carbon. Okay? So, pangalan yan, IUPAC. Name niya ay 1,2,3 propane triol. Or may common name yan na glycerol or glycerol, glycerin. Kayo bahala mag-pronounce. Minsan glycerol yan, glycerin. Isa naman yung iba, glycerol, glycerin. No? So, any of the two, okay lang yun sa chem. Basta alam mo yung IUPAC name, okay lang yan. Okay? So, saan po nakikita yung glycerol or glycerin? Yan ay nakikita minsan sa bomba. Meron din ganyan sa bomba. Saan pa? Sa ating fatty acids, no? So, yung mga lipid bilayers natin, yung lipids natin in general, they are composed of glycerin molecules, no? Ang ginagawa lang dito is that instead na hydrogen yung kadugtong ng oxygen ay functional groups na. Okay? So, andyan na yung mga lauric acid, andyan na yung mga stearic acid, and etc. So, yun. Isa siyang long chain ng fatty acids na. So, ang basic molecule na kailangan doon ay yung glycerin or glycerol. Okay? So, dudugtungan mo lang tong H ng ibang atoms. Meron 12 carbons, 14 carbons, 15 carbons. Na. Then, you have your fatty acid. Na. So, yun yung mga nasa cell natin. Yung sa cell membrane, may ganun doon. Okay? May mga glycerin doon na nakapaganyan. Tapos, they will form the lipid bilayer. Tatlong ano yan, diba? Diba tatlo yan? Nakaganito yung mga lipid bilayers sa ating cell membrane and sa fats, no? So, yan. We're done with the nomenclature. Punta muna tayo sa worksheet, no? Or properties muna. Feeling ko properties na para tapos agad tayo. Okay. Kasi yung reactions sa laboratory, ano. So, okay na yan. Kaya na yun sa lab. Properties na lang muna tayo para tapos na. Okay? So, let's talk about the physical properties of alcohols. We know that alcohols are polar. Pero bakit? No? Because the CO and the OH bonds are polar. If you check the electronegativity difference of those bonds, pasok yon sa polar covalent category. Okay? So, carbon is 2.4. Oxygen is, ano ba si oxygen? 3. So, 3 minus 2.4, 0.6. Ang electronegativity difference nila, polar yon. Okay? Oxygen and H. Oxygen is 3. Kung tama yung pagkakaalala ko, 3. Tapos si hydrogen, 2.1. So, 3 minus 2.1, 0.9. Okay? So, pasok din yun sa polar covalent. Okay? So, that means the bond for alcohol is polar. So, that makes the molecule polar in itself. No? And what's special with alcohols is that because of the OH bond there, it is also capable of forming hydrogen bonds. No? So, may hydrogen bonding din tayo dito. Okay? So, pwede yung kumabit sa water or any other molecules that can also exhibit hydrogen bonding. So, pwedeng-pwede yan. Okay? And because of the presence of hydrogen bonds in our alcohols, no, tumataas yung kanyang physical properties. Specifically, boiling point, melting point, viscosity, no? Viscosity, yun. So, yun. Tumataas yung mga ganong properties, no? So, we have here a table that relates alcohols and alkanes with similar molecular weights, no? Mapapansin natin, the change in the boiling point of the molecules ay matindi. Malaki yung difference, no? For example, we have here ethane and ethanol. So, ethane and ethanol, 2 carbon chain yan. Pero look, ang boiling point ng ethane ay negative 89 degrees Celsius. So, basically, it exists as gas under normal conditions. No? Pero, tignan mo yung ethanol. 78 degrees Celsius siya bago mag-boil. So, ano yung difference natin? We're talking about 100, ilan ba? Almost 200 degrees Celsius ang difference, no? Teka lang. Subtract ko para I get the correct number. 78 minus negative 89. 167 degrees Celsius ang gap. Okay? Just because of the OH, no? So, yun yung proof that OH bonding is the strongest intermolecular force. It can increase the boiling point way higher than the normal, no? So, yan. Malakas kasi ang strength ng intermolecular force kapag hydrogen bonding. So, tataas talaga yung mga physical properties niya. Yung boiling point, yung melting point, ganun. So, ito pa, examples here, we have propane and propanol. So, look, no? Ito, 97 yung propanol, negative 42 yung propane, no? Ano uli yung difference nila? Yung isa may OH, yung isa wala. Okay? And butanol. So, butane, butanol. Okay? So, pag butane, 0 degrees Celsius, magbo-boil na yan, magiging gas na yan. Ito yung mga nasa LPG, no? Butane, yan. So, kapag yan ay ginawa mong alcohol, butanol, ano nangyari sa boiling point? Naging 117 degrees Celsius. Okay? So, ganun. Ganun katindi yung effect ng isang oxygen atom. Malaki, no? So, as long as it is capable of forming hydrogen bond, it can increase the properties, the physical properties of your substances. Ngayon, focus naman tayo sa mga alcohols. We have the methanol, ethanol, propanol, and butanol. I want you to look at their boiling points. What can we observe is that as we add carbon chains, the boiling point also increases, no? So, given na yung mataas na boiling point because of the OH. Pero bakit tumataas siya as long as we increase the carbon chain? Ang sagot doon ay London dispersion forces. Okay? So, the London dispersion forces also act, no? May nagagawa din siya in increasing the boiling point. Ano ba meaning kapag sinabi nating London dispersion forces? These are attractive forces among the non-polar bonds sa molecule. Okay? So, yan. Yung mga carbon, hydrogen, non-polar yan. So, kapag nag-add up yung mga London forces, tataas talaga yung boiling point and yung freezing point ng iyong substances. So, ganun lang. Okay, so ito, na yan? Sa laboratory na yan. No? Kung na-discuss na, tapos na kayo sa SEM. No? So, ganun lang. So, you have to, remember that alcohols, they can perform hydrogen bonding. And because of that, ang kanilang boiling point, melting point, viscosity ay mataas. No? So, kunwari, I want you to compare glycerol. Okay, so ito yung glycerol natin. Compare that with ethanol, propanol. So, sino mas mataas yung boiling point? Obviously, yung glycerol. Bakit? Kasi tatlo yung OH. Okay? So, yan. Yung dito naman, dumadami yung hydrogen bonds, no? Ayan. So, mas malapot yung glycerol. Ayan. So, yun lang. Ngayon, punta na tayo sa last part ng our discussion. Nomenclature and drawing. Yung reactions, kung na-discuss na to sa inyo, sige, pwede nyo gawin, no? Pero hindi na natin i-cover yan. Tapos ito yung pinaka-summary na binigay ko sa mga bata ko. So ito yung relationship ng alkanes, alkenes, and alcohols na. Pero dito lang tayo. Okay, so sabi dito, we write the IUPAC name for the following and identify the type of alcohol. So our alcohol can be classified as primary, secondary, or tertiary alcohol depending on the type of carbon to which your OH is attached. No? Tignan mo kung ano yung type ng carbon na nakadugtong yung OH. No? So, kuha tayong example dito. So, gagawin nyo, itong molecule na to, merong yung primary, may secondary yan, pati may tertiary alcohol dyan. Ano yon? Okay, ganito lang. So, ang basis ng pagtingin, kung yan ay primary, secondary, or tertiary ay dalawa. Pwedeng tignan mo yung hydrogens or tignan mo yung dami ng carbon na nakakabit dun sa carbon na dinudugtungan ng OH. Okay. So, parang ano daw? Ang dalawa yung basis. Tignan mo yung carbon na dinudugtungan ng OH. Okay. Tignan mo yung carbon kung nasa nakadugtong yung OH. Pwede mo malaman kung yan ay primary, secondary, or tertiary kapag, una, bilangin mo yung hydrogen na nakadugtong dyan dito sa carbon na dinudugtungan ng OH. Pwede mo bilangin yung hydrogen. Ako, ganun yung ginagawa ko eh. Pwede naman, yung carbon yung basis. Tignan mo yung carbon na to. Okay? Tapos, hanapin mo, ilang carbon atoms yung nakadugtong din sa kanya. Tignan mo yung neighboring atoms niya. Neighboring carbon. Okay? So, kumbaga, tumingin ka sa kapitbahay, tapos tignan mo yung kapitbahay ng kapitbahay. Depende sa dami ng kapitbahay, yung kanyang type ng alcohol. Okay? Kaya ako, mas prefer ko yung hydrogen. Okay? Kasi dito ka na lang titingin eh. Kapag yung carbon yung basis mo, titingin ka pa sa katabi niya. Okay? Kung ilan yung katabi niyang carbon. Okay. So, wala rin, basis ko ay hydrogen. Okay? So, kapag ako may primary alcohol, may dalawang hydrogen na kasama yung OH. Kapag secondary yan, isa yung hydrogen na kasama ng OH. And kapag yan ay tertiary, no hydrogen ang kasama si OH na. O, wala rin, ito yung molecule natin. Is this alcohol a primary, secondary, or tertiary? Tignan mo kung sino yung kasama niya sa carbon na to. Ilang bonds yung kaya gawin ni carbon? 4. Diba? Tetravalent yan eh. So, dun sa 4 na yon, tignan mo, ilan na yung meron? Ilang bonds na yung meron? 2 na. Isa dito, isa doon. So, 4 minus 2, 2. Ibig sabihin, may dalawang room for hydrogen. So, that means this carbon has 2 hydrogens. So, therefore, I can consider that as primary alcohol. Okay? So, this one is primary. Ano yun? 1 tapos degree symbol. Primary. Ito naman, this is secondary alcohol. Bakit? Okay. Again, ilang bonds kaya ni carbon? 4. Tapos, tignan mo kung ilang bonds na yung meron yung carbon na to. 1, 2, 3. Tatlo. So, 4 minus 3, isa na lang. So, that means may isa pang hydrogen dito. Okay, so, kapag isang hydrogen yung kasama ni OH, secondary yon. And kapag wala siyang OH, pag wala siyang hydrogen na kasama, tertiary yon. For example, this one. This one is a tertiary alcohol. Okay? So, tignan mo. 4 yung bonds na kaya ni carbon. Ilang bonds na yung meron sa carbon na to? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 na bonds na yung meron. So, Are there any rooms for oxygen, for hydrogen? Wala na. So, wala nang room dihydrogen. So, tertiary na yan. Okay? So, paano naman kung kunwari gusto nyo carbon? Ayan, binibigyan ko kayong options. Kayo bahala kung ano mas prefer nyo. Sabi ko, kapag carbon ang basis nyo, titignan nyo yung katabi ng carbon na dinudugtungan ng OH. No? For example, ito yung OH. Dito siya nakadugtong. Tignan mo kung ilang carbon yung katabi niya. Ano yung katabi niyang carbon? Ito. Ilan yan? Isang carbon lang yan eh. Kapag isang carbon lang yung katabi niya, primary. Okay? O, kunwari, itong OH na to, dito siya nakadugtong, di ba? O, bilangin mo kung ilang carbon yung katabi niya. Isa, dalawa. So, may dalawang carbon, so secondary yan. And lastly, tignan mo itong carbon na to, dinudugtungan ng OH na yan. Ilang carbons yung katabi niya? Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Tertiary. Okay? So, ito talaga yung basis, yung carbons. No? Pero ako, mas preferred ko yung hydrogen version. Kasi, wala lang. Okay, so ganun. So, kayo na bahala mamili kung ano gusto nyo, ha? Basta yan yung options mo. So, ang goal natin ngayon is to name the molecules and then we identify the type of carbon, the type of alcohol. So, necessary yan for your reactions. Kung na-discuss niya, alam nyo, important talaga yung type ng alcohol, especially kapag oxidation reaction. So, letter A, we have this one. Bilangin ng carbons. Start tayo banda sa OH. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this one is 1 pentanol. Okay? Sa pangalan niya, 1 pentanol. Kasi, nasa carbon 1 ang OH. Ganun lang. Letter B. So, letter B tayo. So, ilang carbons meron? 1, 2, 3. Kahit saan ka naman mag-count. 1, 2, 3. Parehas lang din yan. So, this is a 3-carbon chain. So, yan ay propane, no? And since dalawa yung OH natin, ang pangalan niyan ay propane diol. Okay? So, pag dalawa or higit pa yung OH, di mo na kailangan burahin yung E. Hindi siya propandiol. Kailangan kasama yung E. Propane diol. Then, asan yung OHs? Nasa 1 and 3. 1, 3, propane diol. Ganun lang. Letter C. Magbilang tayo ng carbons starting sa may OH. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, yan ay butane diol. So, that is butane diol. And asan yung dalawang ol? Nasaan dalawang oxygen? Hydroxide pala. Nasa 1 and 2. So, 1, 2 butane diol. So, yan yung pangalan niya. Okay, so let's have letter D. Sundan nyo na lang ako. Ako na lang magsasagot para tuloy-tuloy tayo. Hopefully, sinusundan nyo rin ako pag nagsasagot ako. Okay? So, let's have letter D. Hanapin natin yung parent chain that includes the OH. So, ito yon. So, yan yung parent chain that includes the OH. No? Ngayon, we will assign locants. No? So, dito yung 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so our parent chain has 4 carbon at isa lang yung OH dyan. So, yung buburahin natin yung E kasi isa lang yung OH. So, this will be butanol. Okay, sa butanol, asan yung OH? Nasa first carbon. So, ang parent chain natin ay 1 butanol. How about yung substituent na to? So, that is a methyl substituent connected to carbon 3. Okay? So, the complete name will be 3-methyl-1-butanol. Okay? So, ganun lang. Let's have letter E. May solid wedges, no? So, may dalawang solid wedges. So, ibig sabihin yan ay cis. Okay? Tapos, dalawang OH yan. So, diol yan. So, you do not have to remove the E sa iyong parent name. Okay? So, yan ay cis. Ngayon, saan ka maglalagay ng numbers 1 and 2? Anywhere. Okay? So, 1 and 2. Pwedeng nasa baba yung 1, nasa taas yung 2. Kayo bahala. So, that one is cis 1,2 cyclohexane diol. So, yan yung complete name. Cis 1,2 cyclohexane diol. Okay? Ano yun? Hindi ko alam. Maingay sa neighborhood. No? So that is cis 1,2 cyclohexane diol. So, yan lang. Again, hindi mo buburahin yung iha pag may diol, triol, etc. So, ganun siya. Oops, wala. Hexane diol. Letter F. Saan tayo maglalagay ng 1? Sa OH. So, continue ka lang ng numbering. Paikot. Okay? So, on the first and on the sixth carbon, you have methyl group. So, 2,6 dimethyl followed by cyclohexanol. Okay? So, isa lang yung OH. So, buburahin mo yung E. Replace that with all. So, name niya ay 2,6 dimethyl cyclohexanol. Okay? So, yan. So, ganun ha. Tignan nyo. Hindi natin nilagay yung 1 cyclohexanol. Kahit hindi na. Kasi automatic na. Kapag sinabing cyclohexanol, 1 talaga yung OH. No? So, andun talaga siya. Okay, so let's have letter G. Okay, so mamaya na natin i-identify kung anong type ng alcohol sila. Sagutan muna natin yung pangalan. So, letter G, on the first carbon, may methyl ka and may OH ka. So, since may OH tayo, ang kanyang name ay cyclohexanol. Ngayon, yung substituent na lang yung kailangan pangalanan. On the first carbon, andun yung methyl, so that's 1-methyl cyclohexanol. So, yun yung name niya talaga. Again, hindi mo na kailangan sabihin na 1-methyl, 1-cyclohexanol. No need. No. 1-methyl cyclohexanol na lang. Masyadong redundant na yung 1 kapag ganun. Letter H. Ano yan? Okay, so ganito yan. In this case, this is a condensed formula. You have to expand this. No? Expand mo siya. So, i-draw mo siya into line angle formula. So, carbon na may OH, then may tatlong CH3. 1, 2, 3. So, yan yung drawing niya. Gawin ko lang malaki. Okay. So, ito yung molecule. So, hanapin ang long chain na may OH. So, ito yon. Okay? So, ito yan. So, this is 1. That is 2. Okay? So, ayan. So, ano yung pangalan ng substituents? 1,1 dimethyl. Okay, so this time, kailangan natin i-indicate nasan yung OH, no? Okay, so, nasa 1 ethanol yan. Okay, so, this time, pag ganito, yung iyong ethanol, may substituent na siya, sabihin mo kung nasan yung all, no? Okay, so, nasa 1. Okay? Pwede rin naman kahit hindi na rin, no? 1,1 dimethyl ethanol. Pwedeng ito na lang din. And then lastly, letter I. That is a pentagon. So cyclopentanol yan. No? Cyclopentanol. Okay? So yan yung names nila. Again, yung rules sa naming that is very similar to your hydrocarbons. No? Kayo na bahala mag-number, mag-assign ng alphabetization. No? So, basta ganun. Ang kailangan nyo lang i-keep in mind ay yung mga all, kailan siya tatanggalin yung E, kailan hindi, kapag diol, triol, then i-assign mo yung location ng OH no? Pag kailangan. Okay, so ganun lang. Ngayon, let's identify the type of alcohol by just looking. Okay, so for A, this is a primary alcohol. Bakit? Kasi the carbon to which your OH is attached, ito, may dalawang hydrogen dyan. Okay? So, again, ang basis ko personally, hydrogen. Kung gusto nyo carbon yung basis, so you can review this naman. Reviewin nyo na yung answers natin. Okay? Pero ako, basis ko, hydrogen talaga eh. So, okay na yun. So, this is a primary alcohol. Okay? How about these two? So, this one is also a primary alcohol. Same as that one. Okay? Parehas may tig 2 hydrogens yung carbon na dinudugtungan nila. About letter C, this one is primary. This one is secondary. Okay? So, ito, may dalawa yung OH. May dalawang H yon. So, primary yon. Ito naman, may isang H lang dyan. So, secondary. This one is also primary. Okay? Itong dalawa, parehas yan, secondary. Same as this one. Okay? Tignan nyo lang. By just looking, malalaman nyo kung primary, secondary, tertiary. It will just take time. Practice lang. Okay? So, letter G, this is tertiary. Okay? Paano naging tertiary? Kasi this carbon, the OH is attached to this carbon and wala nang room for hydrogen. So, tertiary yan. Letter H, this is also another tertiary. And lastly, ito ay secondary. So, ganun lang. Practice nyo yung isang tingin lang, alam nyo na yung sagot. Then lastly, ito na, last na gagawin na natin to. We draw the structural formula for the following alcohols. Yung A, B, G, hindi ko na gagawin yan because these are common names, okay? And nasa PowerPoint. Naka-upload na naman yung PowerPoint sa Canvas. So, please check na lang. So, gagawin ko lang is yung C, D, E, F, H, I, J. Okay? So, ako na rin magdo-drawing para mabilis tayo. C, D, E, F, H, I, J. Okay? So, let's draw them. Gamit ako ng ibang color. So, for C, we have 5-methyl-2-hexanol. Okay? 5-methyl-2-hexanol. So, ito yung parent name mo, 2-hexanol. So, you draw a 6-carbon chain. On the second carbon, ando yung OH. And on the 5th carbon, may methyl group. Okay? So, yan yung itsura ng 5-methyl-2-hexanol. Yun na yun. Tapos na. Let's have letter D. 2-methyl, 2-propyl, 1,3-propane diol. Daming ganap, no? So, 2-methyl. Okay. Draw mo muna yung parent chain, which is yung nasa dulo. Propane, 1, 2, 3. On the first and on the third carbon, may all ka. May dalawang OH. On the second carbon, you have a methyl and a propyl. 1, 2, 3. So, ito yung itsura ng molecule. So, this is 2-methyl, 2-propyl, 1,3-propane diol. So, ganun lang. Letter E, 1-octanol. So, octanol lang yan, 8 carbons. Bilangin natin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So, on the first carbon, you have your OH there. So, yan yung 1-octanol. Baba ko nga to. Yan. So, F. This is 3,3-dimethyl cyclohexanol. So, we have a cyclohexanol. So, ito yung OH. Then, on the third carbon from the OH, may dalawang methyl ka. So, yan yung itsura niya. Letter H, we have 1,4-butane diol. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbons. So, butane na yan. On the first and on the fourth carbon, you have OHs there. So, yan. So, that's 1,4-butane diol. Letter I, 5-methyl-1-hexanol. So, draw mo muna yung 1-hexanol. 1-hexanol, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? On the first carbon, andun yung OH. On the fifth carbon, may methyl. Okay? And then letter J, we have trans 1,4-cyclohexane diol. Okay? So you draw a benzene ring. One is solid wedge, the other is dashed. No? Send dun. Ay, 1,4 pala, sorry. So, teka lang. Oops. So, dito na lang yung solid. Dito na lang yung dashed. Okay? So, yan. So, that's the answer for letter C, D, E, F, H, I, J. Again, yung B, A, B, G, nasa PowerPoint na naman. Okay? So, that ends our discussion for alcohols. Na-cover na natin yung nomenclature, physical properties, yung chemical properties or reactions sa laboratory na yun. No? Pero madali lang yun. No? And gusto ko, try nyo pa rin to. Okay? Try nyo lang. Kahit na lecture kayo sa akin. No? Pwede with your idea or your knowledge sa lab. No? For example, we have alcohol to alkene. Anong gagamitin dyan? Sulfuric acid with heat. Okay? Kunwari, alkene to alkane. Ano kailangan dyan? Hydrogen gas with platinum catalyst. Alkene to dibromo. Dibromopropane. 1,2-dibromopropane. So, gagamitin mo dyan, Br2, etc. etc. So, kayo na bahala. No? Alamin nyo na lang kung ano yung mga kasagutan dyan. Nasa lab video ko naman yung iba. Okay? So with that, that concludes our semester. This will be the last time na makikita nyo. Nakikita natin na isa't isa. Kung next year kayo pa rin hawak namin, so another sem na naman yun na magkikita-kita tayo. Most likely online learning next sem. And by the way, before I end my class, good luck and congratulations because you made it this far until the end of our discussion. Kinaya nyo despite the hurdles in the online learning environment. No? So hopefully meron naman kayo mga nakuha sa akin. No? And good luck sa analytical chemistry next semester. Okay? So, pero for now, enjoy the break. No? May pahinga tayo. Kasi may week na starting next week, wala muna tayong class. Then, examination week na sa next week. Kaya, you have more time to prepare for your lessons. No? So, may video naman ako na ina-upload sa YouTube. Okay, pero by next week, i-compile ko na yung links from chapter 1 until the end. So, isa-send ko yun sa mga group chat natin. So, ayan. Pili na lang kayo ng mga videos na kailangan nyo panoorin pag nagre-review. Okay? So, yun lang, and I'll see you next semester or kung saan man, kung makabalik tayo ng FEU na. Yun. So, kita-kita na lang sa hallway. Okay? So, stay safe and always always pray for the nation. Okay? So bye-bye and good luck sa life. Exam, yung quiz pala, baka sa ano ka na ibigay. Sa weekends na lang. Magpahinga muna kayo. Bye-bye and kita-kits na lang. Bye-bye.